The 1.618 pattern is hidden in your arm, and only the right movement unlocks what still hurts. This number is not just a sacred equation that shapes galaxies, seashells, and cathedrals. It also lives within you. More precisely, it's embedded in the spiral filaments of your fascia, a silent tissue that connects muscles, bones, and emotions like a hidden map of tension and energy. What most people don't realize is that the pain lingering in your shoulders, wrists, or hands might not be purely physical. It could be the broken trace of a gesture that was never completed. There is a forgotten path, a living spiral that moves through your body as if trying to recreate in flesh the mathematics of the Creator. And when that path is activated in the right way, something begins to reorganize, not just in your posture, but in the flow of what you feel, think, and express. The tension you call fatigue might actually be a fragmented prayer, a vibrational code trying to return to its original form. What will be revealed in this video is not a stretching technique. It's not a loose mystical theory. It's a rare convergence of anatomy, sacred geometry, and deep somatic release. You'll understand how a simple helical movement done with intention can release old pain, unlock your creativity, and rekindle a forgotten connection between motion and creation. But to do that, you need to observe what you were never taught to see: the pattern beneath your skin, the rhythm of the spiral, the touch that despises. You were taught to move your body with rigidity, in predictable paths, square motions, but life, energy, and creation don't follow straight lines. There is a spiral hidden in your anatomy, as precise as galaxies and as ancient as myths. It's not located in just one place. It is the very intelligence that weaves everything together. The fascia, a living, sensitive, interconnected tissue, where pain doesn't stay trapped by accident, it follows patterns. But what no one ever told you is that these patterns are not random. They have a design, a trace, a rhythm, a number. 1.618, the same proportion that organizes shells, flowers, planets, and your arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers. When they move in the right spiral, they're not just stretching, they're decoding. Because fascia doesn't respond to force, it responds to form. And when that form follows the golden ratio, something opens up inside, as if the intelligence of the universe reawakens in the subtlest gesture. This is not a metaphor, it's sacred architecture, it's living geometry, and more than that, it's physiological transformation. The tension that wouldn't release begins to soften. The pain that followed you like an old ghost starts to dissolve, and that feeling of something being stuck in your body, in your soul, in your story, starts to find a way out. All of this without force, without strain, without resistance. Because there's a secret hidden in your simplest movements. And it has been documented, whispered, and practiced by silent masters, from Egyptian hierophants to Taoist sages, from hermetic alchemists to visionary anatomists. They all knew, but few dared to translate it into movement. That's what you're about to discover here. The helical gesture, when performed in the golden measure, doesn't just reorganize tissues. It releases memories. It transforms chronic pain into flow, frozen trauma into creative impulse. This video won't give you another concept to think about. It will give you a map to thaw what still pulses trapped in your fascia. And more than that, it will show you that this code is not outside of you. It is literally written in your flesh. You just need to learn how to move it. Long before scalpels, dissections, or microscopes existed, the ancients already knew there was an intelligence within the body, not just in the organs, but in gestures, in joints, in the curves of movement. Hermes Trismegistus didn't write anatomy manuals. but he inscribed the Creator's codes into the ether. And one of those codes, perhaps the most overlooked and yet most present, is the spiral. In Egypt, initiates observed the unfolding of the serpent as a model for transmutation. In India, the rising energy was symbolized by a spiral coiled at the base of the spine. In Greece, Pythagoras found in mathematics the language of the divine, and among the numbers, one specific pattern repeated like a hidden signature of creation, 1.618. This number wasn't just a constant of beauty in art and nature. It was understood as an organizing principle of reality itself. The golden spiral, the geometric expression of this proportion, appears in galaxies, in cyclones, in seashells, and also in the fascia of the human body, especially in the torsional vectors that run from the shoulder to the fingers. Thoth, in his etheric records, made it clear: everything vibrates, everything moves, everything transforms. The key, then, is not in rigidity, but in the ability to rotate, to come into coherence with the flow. And the body knows this, even when the mind forgets. When you observe ancient Egyptian seals, the gestures are not random. Arms in rotation, palms held at precise angles, fingers curving as if drawing the invisible. Every posture was a map, every curve a code, every helical movement a silent spell of vibrational realignment. Today, science is beginning to catch up with what ancient masters already knew, without needing to name it. Fascial biomechanics researchers have confirmed that helical joint rotation activates deep release chains, triggering autonomous responses of internal reorganization. The body, when spiraled, remembers its original language. That's why the 1.618 pattern is not just aesthetic, it's functional. It heals, it awakens, it reorganizes. And not just in the cosmos, but in your own hands. The intuition of the ancients is now finding confirmation in laboratory resonance. A study conducted by researchers from the Fascia research group at the University of Ulm in Germany showed that fascial tissues do more than support structures. They transmit information, store somatic memory, and respond to stimuli with adaptive intelligence. But perhaps the most intriguing discovery was that spiral movements, consciously applied to the joints, generate resonances that travel through the entire myofascial chain, creating an unlocking effect that doesn't rely on force, but on the geometric precision of the gesture. Biomechanical coherence, when spiralized, generates electrical coherence. Neuroscientists from the Somatic Research Institute in Oslo have linked these gestures to the release of chronic stress patterns in the autonomic nervous system. In other words, helical movements unlock frozen zones of the body, and they do it through a non-verbal, direct, ancestral path. This bridge between movement and the nervous system is now the focus of some of the world's most advanced somatic therapies. And more than that, researchers from the Touch Research Institute in Florida observed that slow, mindful rotations of the wrists and fingers increased dopamine and serotonin levels in the cerebrospinal fluid, pointing to a possible connection between the spiral and regenerative neuroplasticity. In short, what was practiced for millennia as sacred art is now beginning to be decoded as applied science. The 1.618 code is not just visual harmony. It's a biomechanical technology embedded in your body, waiting to be activated. You don't need more strength. You need more precision. Release doesn't come from aggressive stretching, but from conscious twisting. The spiral doesn't force its way in. It gently invites the body to remember. The helical gesture is the code in motion, and it begins long before any visible movement. Everything starts with listening, not to sound, but to density. The density that rests between your shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers, The 4 forgotten gateways of the 1.618 code. Step 1. Linear deactivation. Before any gesture, you need to silence the pattern that has conditioned your body to move in straight lines. The line is the cage. The spiral is the key. With your eyes closed, bring your attention to your right shoulder. Don't move, just notice. Is there tension? Is there stiffness? Is there absence? Now, touch that shoulder with your other hand. Feel the temperature. Feel the skin. Breathe as if you were moving through it. This tactile listening is the beginning of reprogramming. You don't move from will. You awaken movement through perception. Step 2. Beginning the underground spiral with your arms resting by your sides. Imagine there's an invisible thread connecting the center of your shoulder to the core of your elbow, wrist, and fingertips. This thread is not straight. It's a living spiral, like a serpent of light sleeping beneath your skin. Without using force, begin to rotate the shoulder in tiny circles, as if gently waking this serpent. Then allow the elbow to follow, then the wrist, then the fingers. Don't focus on doing it right. Focus on listening with your body. You are drawing 1.618 in the air, but what's truly being redrawn is you from within. What moves in a spiral is not just your arm, it's your past. The pain your body carries is never just its own. It comes from generations, from repression, from interruptions that were never resolved. And when you rotate, you reclaim. Step 3. Reversing frozen trauma. Each point in your arm holds a fragment of somatic memory. The shoulder holds restraint. The elbow, hesitation. The wrist, denied impulses. The fingers, the touches that never happened. As you spiral these joints slowly, gently, you're not just unlocking muscles. You're reactivating electromagnetic circuits that were short-circuited. Allow the movement to pause naturally. Sometimes the body stops. This is the most precious moment, when the gesture isn't interrupted by fear, but suspended by listening. In that space, the fascia reveals what got stuck. In that space, you feel you're accessing something beyond what your mind can grasp. Trust the twist. It knows what the intellect cannot name. Step 4. Integration with the creative field. Now bring your attention to the space around your hand. Not just the physical hand, but the vibrational field it emits. Begin to draw spirals in the air with your fingers, as if painting invisible geometries. Feel whether the movement is aligned. It doesn't have to be graceful or precise. It needs to be true. Fascia follows an intelligence that transcends aesthetics. This is where the body becomes code. The spiral resonates from number 2 universe. You are redrawing your creative field, and it responds in real time. Ancient patterns do not define you. They simply invite you to guide them back to center. And the center, here, is not a fixed point. It is a conscious spiral, where everything dissolves to be reborn in a new frequency. Step 5. Anchoring the new vibration after the helical gesture. Let your arms rest, with your palms facing up. Feel the field around your fingers. It is alive. Fascia responds to what you feel and think, but most of all, to what you allow. Now that the body has been spiralized, it is more receptive to creative awareness. This is the moment when trauma becomes a channel. It's no longer about solving a blockage, but about using the density itself as fuel for awakening. What once hurt now pulses. What once froze now transmits. This is fascia's most sacred function, to transmute pain into vibrational data. And when this happens, you are no longer reactive. You become an architect. Use this expanded state to create. Create mental images of where you want to be, how you want to move, what you wish to manifest. Fascia is a mirror of flesh that responds to vibrational imagery. When you combine the helical gesture with clear intention, you're not just activating the body, you are rewriting the script of your reality at the vibrational level. This is the code. This is the body remembering it is a temple. Darren didn't know what it was like to live without pain. Since he was 12, his right arm carried a ghost tension, a kind of invisible stiffness, as if something inside was always on the verge of snapping. No test ever showed an injury. No doctor found it strange, but he felt it, a silent ancestral pain that refused to be ignored. At work, it was hidden behind smiles and productivity. At home, it turned into silence, until one day, distracted, he caught something in the mirror. The way his body moved looked ... stuck, as if his gestures had forgotten how to spiral. Everything was straight, rigid, blocked. A stiff elbow, a frozen shoulder, tense fingers. Something in his movement felt ... corrupted. That realization sparked discomfort. He couldn't explain it, but something told him the issue wasn't his arm. It was the language his body had forgotten how to speak. He began watching nature, the plants, the whirlpools, the spontaneous movements of animals. Everything spun. Nothing moved in a straight line. Not even his own breath. That's when he stumbled upon a concept he'd never heard of before. The helical gesture. A movement pattern based on the golden ratio. One that didn't force the joint, it freed it. He started with small activations in front of the mirror, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, rotating, spiraling, as if each part of his arm was trying to remember something that had been erased from memory. At first it felt strange, a subtle, almost imperceptible movement, but something inside began to shift. A delicate electric current, a silent internal reorganization. His arm began to respond. The pain didn't disappear, it dissolved. Slowly, like ice under the sun. More than relief, something deeper was happening. Darren began creating with his hands again. Not out of duty, but from a vital impulse. His drawings returned. His writing flowed. The pain was transmuting into expression. That's when he finally understood the pain wasn't in the body. It was in the forgotten code of creation, trapped in a corrupted gesture, calling out for reconnection. As he spiraled, he wasn't just moving his arm, he was reactivating the field from which all form is born. And what emerged from that was not just lightness, it was a new life. The greatest block you'll face here is not in your arm, it's in your conditioned mind. It's the unconscious expectation that release must be dramatic, immediate, cinematic. As if relief is only valid if it comes with tears, tremors, or mystical revelations. This expectation creates frustration, and frustration recalibrates your vibration back into control. And where there is control, there is no creation. The helical gesture is not a spectacle. It is a subtle code, a silent language between fascia and spirit. Most of its power unfolds beneath the threshold of perception, and that's exactly where the miracle lives. If you don't feel anything at first, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. It simply means your body is relearning how to trust. Fascia, like reality, responds to the depth of your surrender. If you spiral in a rush, it closes. If you spiral with presence, it sings. The true obstacle is the anxiety for instant results, a legacy of a mind trained to measure value through productivity. But here, time is not linear. The gesture is the portal, and the 1.618 code does not follow clocks. It follows coherence. Transmutation begins when you realize the gesture does not serve the ego, but serves awareness. And that releasing pain is not about erasing sensation, it's about decoding it until it becomes insight. The solution: let go of performance. Move as one who reveres, not one who demands. Each spiral made with presence dissolves invisible layers of protection and makes room for the creative mode to return to its rightful throne within. Your body is not behind, it is testing you. And if you respond with humility, it will reveal what no external master could ever teach. You don't just carry muscles, tendons, and bones. You carry memories that are not yours. There are codes inscribed in your body long before you ever learned to decipher them. And one of them, perhaps the most sacred, pulses in a spiral drawn into your very anatomy. The 1.618 proportion is not just a formula of beauty, art, or nature. It is a cosmic reminder that everything alive is born from the spin, the spiral, the curve. You tried to heal pain through linear effort, mental attempts, denial of the body, but the body does not yield to logic. It moves by vibrational wisdom. Fascia holds what you didn't know how to express, and it only releases when you relearn to dance with it, not fight against it. The hetical gesture is not just any movement. It is a geometric code of reconnection between awareness and flesh. And when you consciously rotate your shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers, something realigns. What was frozen begins to melt. What seemed like trauma becomes a portal. What once hurt begins to teach. You were not born to repeat the suffering of those who came before you. You were born to rewrite it with your body as living ink. And it won't be some external miracle that does this for you. It will be your own return to the natural form of the Creator, the spiral. This is where the illusion of rigidity ends, and the mastery of flexibility begins. You are not what got stuck. You are what spins. You are not what was wounded. You are what rebuilds with grace. As Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "The snake that cannot shed its skin must die." The same is true of minds that prevent their own transformation. Your simplest gesture can be your deepest liberation. Your pain is not an end, it is an invitation. An invitation to remember that the Creator is within you, and He moves in spirals. Fascia knows the way. And now the code has been revealed. Now it's in your hands. Spiral, release, transmute. If this message resonated in your body, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That's what keeps this field of wisdom alive and expanding. Now, I want to invite you to anchor this knowledge through written vibration. Leave a comment below with the mantra phrase, "I activate the 1.618 code of my liberation." This simple act of writing vibrates and affirms that you recognize the creative power woven into your anatomy. Share this video with someone who carries pain they no longer know how to release. Maybe the missing gesture for them is in their own arm. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformational video on the channel. Each insight is a thread that reconnects your flesh to consciousness. Remember, whoever deciphers the spiral within the body rewrites the laws of their own reality.